Hi guys, this video is going to be going over G01 and G03 on programming mill part 3. Beginning putting this program together, I'm opening the discriminator and creating a new file. I will begin with my percent sign, a program number, and then my safety line. Next to my program number and my safety line and so on, I am putting a description of what I'm doing in parentheses. The controller at the machine will not be able to read the writing that's within the parentheses. I've chosen G54 as my work coordinate system, and then I call up a tool change of tool 1. This would be a 3/8 end mill, which will be an important diameter reference because we're going to need an RPM speed. When I get down to my M3 spindle on clockwise, I have an RPM of 4,000. To get the number 4,000 for my RPM, I used the formula RPM equals 3.82 times the cutting speed divided by the cutter diameter. For the cutting speed for this project, I used 400. This is a number that can be found in the machinery handbook. Then I divided by 0.375 my cutter diameter. This number, going through the formula, came out to be 4,074. I rounded down to 4,000. Continuing after turning on the spindle, I turn on coolant and then my G43, my tool height compensation, with an H01 referencing my tool length geometry and my tool offsets page. G00 is still modal and I wrap it to Z01. From there, I will do a line movement to Z-0.1 at a feed rate of 32 inches per minute. The 32 inches per minute were found using the formula RPM times chip per tooth times the number of flutes. I use 4,000 times a chip load of 2 thou per chip per tooth and then times the number of flutes, which is 4. That's how I get the number 32. Also take notice that I'm using a negative 0.1 as my cutting depth. If you take a look at the print, the feature that we'll be machining is 200 thousandths thick. So we will be taking 2 passes at 100 thousandths a rip. So first 100 thousandths and then another 100 thou to finish the workpiece. For this program, we won't be focusing on roughing and finishing. We'll just be concentrating on just doing the contour geometry of a negative 100 thou pass and then a negative 200 thou pass. So if you notice in the beginning of the program, I wrap it to a negative X 2.0, Y 0.0. This is the location away from the workpiece, so I can drop down to my Z depth and then also turn cutter comp on. I'm starting with a G41 code, and then I do a movement of X negative 0.875, calling out diameter 1, referencing tool 1 in my tool offsets page. From here, I will go through and program to the geometry of the workpiece from the prints. This allows me to use point by point and ABS programming, but with cutter comp on, I can just call up easy point geometry. Notice how when I'm using a G02 or G03 that I put a G01 after. All of these codes are modal, so when you call up a circular interpolation code, you need to call up a line movement code after, or the program will continue to run a circular motion. Notice that for G01, I am programming to the beginning of the arc, and then for G02 and G03, I am programming to the end of the arc. I'm using I and J as my incremental value to my swing point. I've pulled up my plot viewer, which is going to help me see the geometry as I am putting down each line. This is a very helpful tool that Discriminator gives. Going line by line, you can see the point movements of your cutting tool. While this may not show color compensation errors like the simulator does, it at least can give confirmation that your geometry is correct. Now I've completed the programming in the top left second quadrant. I'm going to leave the rest of the programming for you guys to finish. That would leave quadrant 1, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. You also need to spot drill and drill holes in the appropriate locations. I will fast forward now to the end of the program and show you how to turn color comp off with a line movement and then complete your program. Now fast forwarding to the end of the program, the next line I'm going to have after this G03 will be a G01. I will go to position Y.06. The reason I'm going just past Y00 is to take off any lip or nub that the tool may have left. By overlapping these cutting paths, I'm going to ensure that it's going to be a straight shoulder. After that, I'll be turning off color comp with a line movement, G40, and then to the position X minus 2.0. Following, I have a M5 for spindle stop, M9 for coolant off, and then a rapid to a safe Z location above the workpiece, M30, and then a % sign to close out my program.